Hi guys, it's me, Teresa Perry, and I just wanted to bring you a quick update tonight because I have great news for you as NVAX got FDA approval. Woohoo! So let's see what they said and what I expect for tomorrow. Okay guys, I'm looking at Twitter and NVAX site on Twitter. And it says, we've got big news. Our protein-based COVID-19 vaccine is now authorized for 18 plus primary series under emergency use in the United States. Read more. And then it goes on to say the NVAX COVID-19 vaccine has not been approved or licensed by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, but has been authorized for emergency use as a primary series to prevent COVID-19 in individuals 18 plus, guys. So we'll go on and see what the article shows us. Okay, guys, it says U.S. FDA grants emergency use authorization for NVAX COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted for individuals aged 18 and over. June 13, 2022, NVAX vaccine is the first protein-based COVID-19 vaccine authorized in the U.S. Guys, I'm going to stop right there because I don't know if this will go on to tell you about that, but I want to just explain how huge this is because the fact that it's protein-based is what other major vaccines are, like the flu vaccine. So a lot of people that have refused to get the other vaccinations, including myself, may be more willing to get NVAX because it's protein-based. Now, personally, I'm going to want a little more information on it because as an RN, I'm just skeptical of anything that hasn't been out for a while. And I have very severe drug sensitivities and am scared to death after losing, one of my good friend's mom was unfortunately the victim of a stroke and death after receiving the vaccine. So, and obviously it wasn't NVAX because I wouldn't be talking about it if it was. But this is why the protein-based, I think, is much better and something that I would actually consider. But this is huge news nonetheless, regardless of your issues or my personal issues with the vaccine. This is a great opportunity for Americans and for us as investors. So continuing on, sorry for my little sidetrack. Immunizations with the NVAX COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted as a primary series will begin upon product release and once a policy recommendation from the CDC is received. It says, Gaithersburg, Maryland, July 13, 2022. NVAX, a biotechnology company dedicated to developing and commercializing next-generation vaccines, NVAX, a biotechnology company dedicated to developing and commercializing next-generation vaccines for serious infection diseases, today announced that the NVAX COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted NVX-CoV2373 has received emergency use authorization from the FDA to provide a 2-dose primary series for active immunization to prevent coronavirus disease. 2019 COVID-19 caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2, SARS-CoV-2 in individuals 18 years of age and over. Today's FDA emergency use authorization of our COVID-19 vaccine provides the U.S. with access to the first protein-based COVID-19 vaccine, said Stanley C. Irk, President and Chief Executive Officer of NVAX. This authorization reflects the strength of our COVID-19 vaccine's efficacy and safety data, and it underscores the critical need to offer another vaccine option for the U.S. population while the pandemic continues. Patients and providers in the U.S. now have access to a protein-based COVID-19 vaccine backed by data that have demonstrated efficacy, safety, and tolerability, said Karen Kutloff, MD, Professor of Pediatrics, University of Maryland School of Medicine, Associate Director of Clinical Studies at the Center for Vaccine Development and Global Health, COVID-19 Prevention Network co-lead, and the Prevent 19 trial. offering more vaccine technologies and options in our vaccination portfolio, including those built upon technologies that have been successfully used for years, will hopefully help to increase our country's vaccination rate. The FDA EUA was based on data from the pivotal phase 3 clinical trial, Prevent 19, which enrolled approximately 30,000 participants aged 18 and over in the U.S. and Mexico. In the trial, the Novavax COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted demonstrated 90.4% efficacy, 95% confidence intervals, 83.8 to 94.3, and p less than 0.001, with a reassuring safety profile among participants aged 18 through 64. Solicited adverse reactions following administration of any dose of the Novavax COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted were injection site pain, tenderness, 82.2%, which, guys, is common, fatigue, malaise, 62%, which with the COVID vaccine, guys, is very common because, again, they're giving you a vaccination that is making your body think that it's had COVID, right? So you're going to have similar type symptoms to a much milder degree. So fatigue and malaise, 62%, muscle pain, 54.1%, headache, 52.9%, joint pain, 25.4%, nausea, vomiting, 15.6%, injection site redness, 7%, injection site swelling, 6.3%, and fever, 6%. In participants 65 years of age or over, solicited ARs following administration of any dose of Novavax adjuvanted were injection site pain, tenderness, 63.4%, fatigue and malaise, 39.2%, muscle pain, 30.2%, headache, 29.2%, joint pain, 15.4%, nausea and vomiting, 7.3%, injection site swelling, 5.3%, injection site redness, 4.8%, and fever, 2%. So, guys, like I said, these symptoms I would expect because they're basically giving you something your body's going to react like it has COVID, right? Doses of the Novavax COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted were shipped from the Serum Institute of India, PVT Limited, the world's largest vaccine manufacturer by volume, and are now in the U.S. The next step for the vaccine is a policy recommendation for use from the CDC. Earlier this week, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, in collaboration with the Department of Defense, announced an agreement to secure an initial 3.2 million doses of Novavax, the Novavax COVID-19 vaccine. These vaccine doses will be made available for free to states, jurisdictions, federal pharmacy partners, and federal qualified health centers. In addition to the FDA, EUA, and Novavax COVID-19 vaccine has received conditional authorization for use in individuals aged 18 and over from multiple regulatory agencies worldwide, including the European Commission, which is the EC, and emergency use listing from the World Health Organization. This project has been supported in part with federal funds from the Department of Health and Human Services, Office of the Assistant Secretary for Preparedness and Response, Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, through the Department of Defense Joint Program, Executive Office for Chemical, Biological, Radiological, and Nuclear Defense, JPEO-CBR&D, under contract number MCDC 2011-001. Use of the Novavax COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted in the U.S. The Novavax COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted has not been approved or licensed by the U.S. FDA, but has been authorized for emergency use by the FDA under an emergency use authorization to provide a 2-dose primary series to individuals 18 years of age and older to prevent coronavirus disease 2019 COVID-19. The emergency use of this product is only authorized for the duration of the declaration that circumstances exist justifying the authorization of emergency use of the medical product under Section 564B1 of the FD&C Act unless the declaration is terminated or authorization revoked sooner. Authorized use. The Novavax COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted is authorized for use under an emergency use authorization to provide a 2-dose primary series for active immunization to prevent coronavirus disease 2019 caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus SARS-CoV-2 in individuals 18 years of age and older. Important safety information. Contraindications. Do not administer the Novavax 19 adjuvanted to individuals with a known history of severe allergic reaction, anaphylaxis, to any component of the Novavax 19 vaccine. Warnings and precautions. Management of acute allergic reactions. Appropriate medical treatment to manage immediate allergic reactions must be immediately available in the event of an acute anaphylactic reaction occurring following the administration of Novavax. Myocarditis and pericarditis clinical trial data provided evidence for increased risk of myocarditis and pericarditis following administration of the Novavax COVID-19 vaccine. Syncope, fainting, may occur in association with the administration of injectable vaccines. Guys, that's normal. Some people faint when they see a needle, so I would expect that to be there. Altered immunocompetence. Immunocompromised persons, including individuals receiving immunosuppressant therapy, may have a diminished immune response to the COVID-19 vaccine. Limitations of vaccine effectiveness. The COVID-19 vaccine may not protect all vaccine recipients. Adverse reactions reported in clinical trials following administration include injection site pain, tenderness, fatigue, malaise, muscle pain, headache, joint pain, nausea, vomiting, injection site redness, injection site swelling, fever, chills, injection site pruritus, which is itchiness, hypersensitivity reactions, lymphadenopathy-related reactions, which is swelling at the injection site, myocarditis, and pericarditis. Myocarditis, pericarditis, and anaphylaxis have been reported following administration of the Novavax COVID-19 vaccine outside of clinical trials. Additional adverse reactions, some of which may be serious, may become apparent with more widespread use of Novavax COVID-19 vaccine. Guys, that's the main reason that I won't take the vaccine, is because I know that there's known heart conditions with all of these, and I also know that unfortunately they're early onset and it's hard to tell how everybody's body is going to react, right? We all have a different makeup and we all react differently. So, and we don't know the long-term effects of these medications. So, but needless to say, out of all of them, I think that this is the best option so far because it is protein-based. So I am happy that they are authorizing this. Reporting adverse events and vaccine administration errors. The vaccination provider enrolled in the federal COVID-19 vaccination program is responsible for mandatory reporting of the following to the vaccine adverse event reporting system. Vaccine administration errors, whether or not associated with an adverse event, serious adverse events, like irrespective of attribute to the vaccination, cases of multi-symptom inflammatory symptoms, and cases of COVID-19 that result in hospitalization or death. Complete and submit reports, and then told you where, to the extent feasible, report adverse reactions to Novavax. Please see the Novavax 19 adjuvanted fact sheet for healthcare provider administering vaccines. And guys, then this just goes on to tell you that the NVAX CoV373 Novavax is a protein-based vaccine engineered from the genetic sequence of the first strain of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19 disease. The vaccine was created using Novavax recombinant nanoparticle technology to generate antigen derived for the coronavirus spikes in the S protein and is formulated with Novavax patented saponin-based matrix M adjuvant to enhance the immune response and stimulate high levels of neutralizing antibodies. NVAX CoV2373 contains purified protein antigen and can neither replicate nor can it cause COVID-19. So again, those symptoms that it's causing, it's not causing COVID-19, guys, but it's causing your body to react as though it has COVID-19. But it's not causing you to be COVID positive, okay? Very important there. NVAX CoV2373 is packaged as a ready-to-use liquid formula in a vial containing 10 doses. The vaccination regimen calls for 2 0.5 ml Doses given intramuscularly 21 days apart. The vaccine is stored at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, enabling the use of existing vaccine supply and cold chain channels. Use of the vaccine should be in accordance with official recommendations. The Prevent-19 trial of NVAX CoV2373 is being conducted with support from the U.S. government, including the Department of Defense, the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, part of the Office of the Assistant Secretary, guys, all that stuff that I just read. So I'm not going to repeat that because it's just very boring. But to date, the U.S. government agreed to order 3.2 million doses under their existing agreement and receive a recommendation from the CDC. Novavax and the U.S. government will determine the timing, pricing, and amount for delivery of any additional doses. Novavax intends to pursue additional U.S. procurement of both NVAX-CoV2373 doses and other potential formulations. Those other potential formulations, guys, I think I mentioned in the last video, are the ones that they've developed that are suitable to prevent against the Omicron variant. So I think that there is going to be a follow-up vaccine with this dose that prevents the Omicron. I believe that's what they're implying in this, which is also extremely bullish. Novavax has established partnerships for the manufacture, commercialization, and distribution of NVAX CoV2373 worldwide. Existing authorizations leverage Novavax manufacturing partnership with Serum Institute of India, the world's largest vaccine manufacturer by volume. They will later be supplemented with data and additional manufacturing sites throughout Novavax's global supply chain. About Matrix M adjuvant. Novavax patented saponin-based Matrix M adjuvant has demonstrated a potent and well-tolerated effect by stimulating the entry of antigen presenting cells into the injection site and enhancing antigen presentation in local lymph nodes. Okay, guys, I'm not going to read any more of that because it just goes on to discuss who Novavax is as a company, and I'm sure you've all done your D&D on that. So the other thing that I wanted to bring up with Novavax is the fact that they, on July 7th, announced the filing of a request to Swissmedic to expand CMA of COVID-19 vaccines in adolescents aged 12 to 17 and as a booster dose for individuals 18 and over, guys. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think that they're going to try to make this vaccine available to younger children as well over time in the U.S. So that's a very bullish thing as well. But all in all, I think that the price action after hours was crazy today, and I want to take a look at the chart and see what it's telling us. Okay, guys, before we look at the charts, I want to bring up the short interest in Novavax because it's definitely something that you should be aware of. So, according to the NASDAQ, as of June 30th, the short interest was 14,776,951 shares, guys. So that is an average daily share volume of 5,253,697, which would take 2.81 days to cover. If this starts running tomorrow, I'm bringing this to your attention because it will be a potential opportunity to squeeze out these shorts. According to TD Ameritrade, the short interest on this stock is 20.23% of the float, guys. And additionally, according to TD, 39.49% of the float is held by institutions. So guys, I think you saw last week or the last few weeks a massive kind of run up, right? And then they kind of dumped it down and shorted more. There's no doubt in my mind that this is a heavily shorted stock because the high of the past year approximately was $275, give or take, right? So clearly when we're trading at $69.95, that's a huge way off, right? Yes, I'm sure people sold, they made their profit, they wanted to get out, but a lot of that's also been short selling, guys, because they wanted to ride that big wave down. Who can blame them, right? So Now it's time to turn that gravy train around, cover those shorts, and go long. That's all I have to say. This has the potential to make a massive, massive run on Friday. And maybe I should, hold on. Okay, guys, what I'm looking at right now is the open interest for calls for July 15th, right? The ones that are blue are in the money, and as you can see, they're much lower strike prices, and there's not a whole lot of open interest on those contracts. However, I'll go back to something. Oh, volume and open interest. Guys, volume 1, open interest 26 on the 6450s. I'm wondering if I'm the one that bought that one. That's funny because I actually have one, and I think it's for 6450 at that. I only bought one of them to offset some of my higher ones that I had bought previously. But guys, I'm going to show you something, and this is why I think that this stock is going to trend up, because if you start looking at where the the open interest lies and the number of contracts and stuff, you're going to see there's a whole bunch of open interest, guys, in those 69, 69.50, which is where we're trading right now, right? But also in the 70, now keep going, and you're going to see a lot more open interest going up, and big one at 75, guys. There's 2,471 and then 2,516 with interest, right? And then, guys, look, when you get to 80, there's another 1,188 and 4,344. So this is what I'm saying by the gamma ramp up here is huge. Now, remember, these are not cheap. Now look at the $90 ones. Even here, 550 and 1,029. This is the volume, and this is the open interest, 1,029. This is nuts. It continues, the 95, 100. Guys, these strikes go all the way, and there's a lot of open interest, but they go all the way up to $320 on this Friday's expiration. Now, do I think it's going to $320 this Friday? No, guys, I do not. I absolutely do not. But I think that we could see a run upwards of 75, 80, potentially even to that $90 range. And if this gamma ramp keeps going, it could, induce shorts covering and volume to come in. Now, let's take a look at the chart and see what it's telling us. Again, guys, it's hard to tell, but it's interesting. That's for sure. Options. Right here is the NVAX max pain chart, and it's going to be currently $69 is the max pain for 7/15/22, guys. But again, if you look at this chart right here, it doesn't really make much of a difference as far as the price wise in all of these numbers here. So it's not going to hurt them too much if it runs to anything up to like, $84, $83. Anything over that, it starts getting substantially higher, right? The cost, because right here, this cost to them, if it's anything under this, is under $50 million. But once it goes over this first line here, then it starts going up. This second big line is going to cost them $100 million. So they're going to try to keep that max pain level, probably, guys, I would say on this, under that $50 million level. So anywhere around where we're trading right now, up to about, I think we're going to start seeing issues once it gets over that $80 range. But it is possible, and if it does hit those $80 contracts, then it could potentially push it up. And last week, I know that they expired above the max pain level, guys. So it's definitely possible. And with the definite call option is directionally bullish for anything once you start going up back into the 70s again, right? So that's why I think you saw as soon as it hit that 72, guys, that it dropped, right? But if we can get it to push past that 72 and definitely past that 75, there's a lot of contracts at 75. And I think it'll continue to go up. So anyways, that's what I'm hoping to see happen tomorrow. I hope we can get those $75 and $80 contracts into the money. And then, guys, if we go past that, look at this. This would just be crazy. But there's potential in this one for a gamma ramp. So I am looking forward to that as well. Now let's just quickly look at the chart because I did go over it last night, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I do want to. Okay, guys, so as you can see, we did make that golden cross that I discussed on the last video. See, the 20 crossed over the 48 or the 50 SMA. And we are in an uptrend, guys, so things look good on the daily chart for this to continue. Again, eventually I'd like to see the 50 start curling up as well, and for all of these lower moving averages to cross above the 200. But guys, we're still a little bit of a ways away from that, but we're making a great progress in our continued trend to the upside. So let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, guys, the 4-hour chart, the 13 still above the 48 SMA, which is very good. I think that that looks bullish as well. And the daily chart, check it out. Right after hours, we have that initial spike up, followed by a spike down, guys, but then we pulled back up and consolidated. If I look at the day as a whole, it honestly looks like a huge consolidation day, to be perfectly honest with you. Granted, we did have a nice move up, but if you look at the overall trends and where they fall, guys, it's basically consolidation. So I am extremely bullish for tomorrow. Going in, we're going to make that 1348 cross back above and finish the day higher. And like I said, there's a beautiful gamma ramp. So now there is something that some people like to talk about, which is buy the rumor, sell the news. So, I mean, yeah, there's a potential that could happen, but to be perfectly honest, I think that happened the other day when if we go back and we look at the 1-year chart again, you can see that we had gone up to almost $80 and then pulled back, right, the last couple days. So I think that was the sell the news because we pulled all the way from 80 back down to just about $62, somewhere around there, guys. So I think that that was a pretty significant pullback, and I think that we continue a move to the upside again tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to seeing what NVAX does tomorrow, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Have a great night.